This morning, Campbell Soup is denying claims about its products, allegedly made by an executive in a recorded conversation. The person in the recording is also heard belittling Campbell's customers during an expletive-filled rant.
We have that's for poor people. Who buys our I don't buy Campbell's products barely anymore. It's unhealthy. Now that I know what the in it, I can eat bioengineered meat. I don't want to eat a piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer.
The recording is allegedly from a conversation that's now part of a lawsuit filed by Robert Garza, a cybersecurity analyst for Campbell's, who claims he was fired after reporting the alleged remarks, which he says also included racist comments about company employees. Garza claims Campbell executive Martin Bally made those comments after the two met to discuss Garza's salary. In a statement, Garza's attorney saying, "This situation has been very hard on Robert. He thought Campbell's would be thankful that he reported Martin's behavior, but instead, he was abruptly fired." Campbell's responding, saying, "If the comments were in fact made, they are unacceptable. They do not reflect our values and the culture of our company." And going on to say, "The comments heard on the recording about our food are not only inaccurate, they are patently absurd."
Nothing melts away the cold like a delicious hot bowl of Campbell Soup.
Campbell saying, "The chicken meat used in our soups comes from long-trusted, USDA-approved U.S. suppliers and meets our high-quality standards." And the company noting, Bally worked in IT and had nothing to do with food production. Bally is on leave, pending a company investigation. In the meantime, the Attorney General in Florida, a state that bans lab-grown meat, says his office is now investigating Campbell's products.
Bally needs to get fired expeditiously. How are you talking about customers like that? How do you wreck 100 years of marketing in 1 minute? The PR team right now, they're so cooked. Wendy's in the comments fanning the fire. Where are they at? Don't forget, this is how all the super wealthy feel about us.
Well, duh.
I'm a college student. I literally ran off Campbell. I want to boycott, but what the hell am I going to eat without my poor person food? In fact, when I was looking online, a lot of people were saying they're going to boycott Campbell Soup completely. Let's just say Campbell Soup has also tried to make some rectifications on their website, and Campbell Soup released this just yesterday. We're proud of the food we make and the high quality ingredients we use. Campbell Soups are made with real chicken, period.
Period.
You know they're worried when they added this right there. But you can go into their websites and you can see their statements about the bioengineered food, the 3D printed chicken. Go ahead and check it out. A lot to see.
Did y'all hear about this? I am so pissed off right now. Oh, Lordy. So the vice president of Campbell's has come forward and says that people shouldn't be eating this because it's not real chicken. It's like some 3D manufactured fake.
Man, the focus that we're putting on this Campbell Soup story is so misguided. A leaked recording came out as part of a lawsuit where one of the VPs of cybersecurity at Campbell Soup is yelling about how the company's lower priced soups are, quote, shit for fucking poor people. And then he goes on to make racist comments about Indian employees and spread inaccurate information about ingredients, suggesting that they use bioengineered meats and 3D printed chicken. And it's the last part that everyone seems to be really focused on, even though that's the part that's completely inaccurate. 3D printed chicken is not in our food supply. Lab-grown meat isn't even in our food supply. And if it was in Campbell's Soup, that soup would be so expensive. It's not there. They use chicken meat from chickens. This guy in the recording was not the VP of the entire Campbell Soup Corporation. He was a VP of cybersecurity, literally nothing to do with food science or ingredients, which is why he clearly knows nothing about the actual ingredients. The fact that people are focusing on the food science misinformation instead of the rest of what he said is so absurd, because the real story here is what his comments expose about the entire food industry under our current economic system. This is not about one executive or one company, and boycotting them based on misinformation about the type of meat they use isn't going to help anything. This is the system. When you build a food environment where the only value that matters is maximizing quarterly profits, you get exactly this. You get executives who talk in a derogatory way about low-income consumers as if they're disposable, who don't care about the quality of their product as long as it helps boost profits, and who openly demean their employees, the very people who make the company run. This is what a profit-only model produces when the main incentive rewards this kind of thinking. So if you want to be outraged at that. Be outraged at the system that makes racism and classism and disregard for public health profitable, not at a single ingredient that doesn't even exist in your soup. And if we want this to change, the answer isn't boycotting individual companies based on misinformation about single ingredients social media tells you are bad. It's demanding policies and regulations that change the system and make it more difficult for corporations to profit by cutting corners on safety and quality, exploiting workers, or demeaning the people they serve.
Why am I the only one who sees the main story as the employee who reported this to higher ups got fired? Abuse of capitalism is not new and expected, but someone getting fired for reporting this behavior is what disgusts me.
Hey fuckers, you're in luck. It's 2 for $3 on Campbell's. They're on sale. I guess nobody wants their bioengineered bullshit for the day, huh?
This is Campbell Soup. Campbell Soup is supposed to be one of those like wholesome American companies, something that you buy, you know, when your kids are at home sick. But instead, one of their executives is caught allegedly talking shit about the products, talking shit about the customers, talking shit about the employees. Comfort food, not so much, I guess. And the reason we know any of this information is because of this guy, Robert Garza, who said that he was having a meeting with this guy, and he went on this like hour-long rant about how shit the company is and how he hates basically their customers and their employees. So he reports it. He says, hey, you know, this is happening with this guy, you know, Martin Valley. And like 3 weeks later, he gets fired with no write-ups, no nothing. They're just like, yeah, you gotta go. He's like, fuck you guys, I'm gonna file a lawsuit. And that's exactly what he did. And granted, this guy is in securities. He's not in like, you know, recipe development or like food science or anything like that. But I don't know, for me, if an executive is speaking this way about the company they work for, it makes me very wary. It makes me very cautious and rethink, you know, possibly buying products made by the company. But I guess we'll see how the lawsuit and, you know, the investigation goes.
This guy is unhireable now. There are only so many spots at the level of seniority in corporate America, and it's highly competitive. Even if he doesn't get fired, his career has peaked.
He got cooked!
I'm afraid to eat anything now. We sadly don't know what they're feeding us.
Have you heard about the Campbell Soup scandal? Oh my God, they've got some explaining to do. I heard there's a lawsuit, and I heard there might even be charges filed against this former vice president. But how true is what he said? Let's look at the label together and find out. Contains bioengineered ingredients. The ingredients from corn and soy in this product come from genetically modified crops. That says nothing about the meat. So I only have one question for you, Campbells. Is there really 3D printed meat in this soup? Are you really trying to trick us into eating some shit? Because I think your consumers absolutely deserve to know.
Campbell's vice president was just exposed for being a piece of shit person and saying racist remarks about his Indian employees and saying how only poor people eat Campbell's soup. So I have a message for you, Martin Valley. Go fuck yourself.
Bioengineered meat made from a 3D printer. And I don't even know where to start with this. First of all, sir, aren't you the one selling it? But the wildest part to me is that Campbell's has always marketed itself as this wholesome, family-forward brand, right? It's the stuff that your mom warms up for you whenever you're sick. But behind the scenes, the people at the top are mocking the exact customers who keeps the lights on. It just shows how different public image is from private attitude. And honestly, this is what many big companies do. They slap family-friendly, tradition, and comfort all over their commercials. But the minute the cameras are off, executives are talking like they've never touched their own products unless it's for a photo op. It is just a reminder that branding is just that. It is branding. It is a costume. It's a vibe that they rent out to get your trust. It is not value. Then the employee who recorded it says he got fired for reporting the rant. And now there's a lawsuit involved, which adds another layer of, we care about families, but not the people that work here. And I mean, at the end of the day, this is not just like a soup scandal. That sounds ridiculous. It's an example of how companies use the language of family, comfort, and community to sell to you while privately acting like they're above the very people that they profit from. And that is the real story here.
The scariest part is that there's no bioengineered meat in the soup. That's all highly regulated. It's simply not in their products.
So Campbell Soup thinks it's funny to mock poor people. That's wild coming from a company that literally built their entire empire off of the same working class families that they're laughing at. You can't spend decades selling canned sodium water and bioengineered mystery meat to people who are struggling and then turn around and talk shit about them. That's not just disrespect. That's who these corporations really are. And the comments I've seen prove it. Everyone's done. People are finally realizing that Campbell's owns, half the damn snack aisle. Goldfish, Snyder's, Cape Cod, Kettle Brand, Pretzel Crisps, Prego, Swanson, all the same company feeding us the same garbage under different labels. And now we find out that they're slipping bioengineered ingredients in the food and didn't even bother putting it in the label. But sure, the people buying it are the poor ones, right? The ones working 2 jobs, the ones stretching groceries, the ones keeping Campbell's alive for a century. This is exactly why people are pissed. This is why people are tapping out. Because if a company openly disrespects the same people that are keeping the lights on, then they don't deserve any of our money anymore.
Couldn't agree with you more. I'm 63. One of my first memories is my grandmother serving me lunch. Campbell's bean and bacon soup and a grilled cheese sandwich. I've been eating it for 60 years. It breaks my heart. I will never buy another can of Campbell's soup the rest of my days. But guys, let me know what your thoughts are with the way the executive was addressing its employees and customers, how Campbell's soup handled the whole scandal, or generally, would you still even continue buying Campbell's soup? Leave your comments down below and let me know what your thoughts are. If it's your first time to the channel, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Also, check out this video. I'm sure you're definitely going to enjoy it. But nevertheless, I will see you guys when I see you. Peace.